full circle. See, it says full circle. Right, so this right here is an overview. See the overview? That's the overview right there. What does it say? What does that overview say? Sure, there are millions of podcasts, but not everyone who should have a podcast has one. That's where we come in. Full Circle develops and produces original podcasts in partnership with the biggest and best talents who have yet to launch a podcast. Under the auspices of Bill Maher and his team of media executives, Full Circle and everything in between. There's the team right there. You're looking at them. There's Bill Maher. Bill Maher of politically incorrect fame, Chris Case, and the man himself, Mr. Chuck Labella. So, I had just finished making 3 movies, really. We were finishing a horror picture. We had developed, produced, and shot Not Another Church movie starring Jamie Foxx, Vivica A. Fox, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Daniels, and I love movies, and if I want to participate in the movie business, then I got to be willing to always step into another ring, put my toe in the water, right? So this was something, I wrote this movie, and we were moving forward with Patrick, and Chuck Labella was very busy. Chuck had worked for President Trump in the past, and he seemed to be doing all these top secret missions. So, I didn't know where Chuck would be coming in and out of the studio, and I was basically waiting to meet Chris Case. So, while I was waiting to meet Chris Case, all of a sudden, Patrick Thompson was telling me about all the problems they were having with Chris Case. Patrick's like, yeah, he's usually on something. Him and Chuck are having a fight. Chuck is out in the parking lot with a baseball bat because he wants to kill Chris. These are the things I'm being told, and the questions I have are, well, what's the problem? He's like, well, they don't want to pay Chuck his $10,000 a month anymore because he's an owner, and he shouldn't be getting a salary if he's an owner, and frankly, I think they're right. He is an owner. Here it is. Okie dokie, 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 okie dokie. Okay, there's Patrick hugging the dog. Okay, all right. I know it's in it everywhere. This is it, right, Patrick? Yeah.
This is where it started. We'll look back and laugh at this. I'll make it the iPad. I'll show you. I'll show you how it really looks.
There's Patrick's house in Shot of Calabasas from up here, right?
Right across that's Calabasas over there. So we're around the edge, Woodland Hills. Just pop the screen out the window as the bathroom. You gotta climb out and get it.
Okay, then him and the dog, like the yard. There I am, and picture me. Okay, there is the studio. Okay, Chuck Labella had offered me office space while we tried to figure out 3 podcasts and how to start a horror division for Full Circle. And Patrick wanted me to come by the studio and meet his friend John McKenzie, who owned a hero shop in Philadelphia, and he supposedly has like the best cheesesteaks, and he really wanted me to taste these cheesesteaks. So I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I show up at the studio, and I don't really know what's going on. I think that I'm just there to meet Patrick's friend John, and I'm thinking Chuck Labella really wants me to do this podcast, and I'm going to be doing these movies. So next thing you know, I realize I'm in a liquor presentation, and Chuck is there, and the gentleman who invented the vodka is explaining what the vodka is, what's in the vodka, how he makes the vodka, where they distribute the vodka. And as I'm sitting there, I'm recognizing that nobody's edifying Chuck Labella. They're not saying, oh, this is, Chuck has worked on Celebrity Apprentice. He has done Who's Smarter Than a Fifth Grader. He's cast all of these reality shows.
and let it marinate, pardon the pun, and let him think about it tonight.
Have you looked up Chuck's everything?
Yeah.
You should look up every cast member that's ever been on anything, because he actually knows everybody. He knows there's
The who's who.
it doesn't matter who.
Yeah.
He doesn't know them.
Well,
knows
if he
them.
did 10 years of Celebrity Apprentice, and they all had 25 celebrities, and that's 250 right there.
Oh yeah, but he did Woods. I mean, he's done everything. I mean,
Yeah.
he used to do. He worked with Casey Kasem back in the day at Westwood Radio 1. He's the one who interviewed all the celebrities. He knows Tom Hanks. He knows everyone. It doesn't matter who.
He knows Kid Rock. I'm looking at the liquor and I'm thinking all the people that Chuck has worked with. Gene Simmons. You can put Kiss on that. Like, who is it that Chuck knows that these vodka people would be interested in? Because I'm interested in helping Chuck. So I'm there, and they're talking about the vodka, and these guys are professionals. This is their business. I'm realizing now, like when I watch it, am I the mark? Is it me? Who's the mark in this room right now? Is it Chuck? Is it the vodka guys? Are they trying to figure out how to get it done? Because if you look at the date, I just gave Patrick the money a day beforehand.
I just need to know that we're gonna get this done today. That's what I need to know, because these fucking guys are on me right now, getting these right now, and I can't deal with that.
I don't have the money.
Patrick's kind of in a good mood. Look, things are going good. That's a different Patrick that you're looking at in those videos. So they show up at the studio. Patrick takes him on a tour. So Patrick has me believing that he's in charge of all of this, and that he is the guy building the studio next door for Bill Maher and for Chris Case and for Chuck, and that he's the chief of staff. He's running all of this. But if Patrick Thompson is a low-level media guy, he's a lowly paid intern. I'm like, wow. And if you think about it, like The Sixth Sense, and you play it back, was Patrick ever there? It's like, he's there. If you notice, Patrick's like he's bouncing around. It's a happy energy. It's not a nervous energy. He's bringing his friends together. So Patrick is bringing the liquor guys to meet Chuck. And he's got me there because I'm the guy who's on television. I'm on City on a Hill. I sold movies. So, for me, it was another day in Hollywood.
So, aggravated that this human being borrowed this money and has no intention of giving it back.